Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about pen15 Season 2B, the last 8 episodes. Yes, sadly, this show has been canceled. And yes, I know what pen15 looks like. Hey, the creators of the show, the one who came up with this, not me. So sadly, back in November of 2021, it was announced that before 2B even aired, that the second season will be the end. I was devastated because this was an extremely funny show that was created like by the two actresses that star in this, and it was created in such an amazing way that was kind of like, wow, why doesn't more people do something like this? This show, which I've talked about in earlier last year, is a coming of age show about two girls, Maya and Anna, who are in middle school. And they're played by the real Anna and Maya, who are actually in their like 30s or something like that. And it's funny because they're like two adults and they kind of look like teenagers after a while until you actually see the real teenagers on the show. Then it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, you don't. The repair guys outside making all that noise. Anyway, so um, so they play like their younger selves, and they play around real no, real middle school like students and stuff. And so it's just two girls trying to like go through puberty and understand life and dating, romance, and the frustration of their parents and stuff. And so it's a very clever show, and yes, the two actresses do their characters do end up falling in love with the teenage characters on the show, but they never kiss them. That's a great thing because you know how I feel about adults and teens kissing. What they do is that when it's time to kiss, they zoom in and they get like a body double for like the boy they're supposed to kiss, who's an actual adult. So that's great. But then now in 2B, they end up dating two guys, and the two guys are high school guys, but they're real life adult men who are like in their like 30s and stuff. And so I have to say, this show did not end the way I thought it would end. Like, it didn't conclude like how I thought it would because all the stuff that was building up. So I'm very disappointed in that. And I'm very disappointed it was only like 8 episodes left to watch. I knew something was up when they took a year and a couple of months on a hiatus break between 2A and 2B. Because normally when Hulu does crap like that, like what they did with Light as a Feather, normally the show gets canceled after that because people lose interest after that. However, there's speculation as to why the show got canceled. Um, it's a bit confusing because I remember when I first read this in November, it said, Hulu said, it said Hulu has canceled pen15. But then there was an article on 2Fab that said that the show actually ended because the show creators just ended the show because complications and like being burnt out, and also the what that's going around the world right now, which had to do a huge part of it. I know both actresses just gave birth. I'm not sure how too long ago. So of course, being a new mom, that's going to take a toll on you, and having to create a show and write it and star in it, that's going to take a toll. Now the whole what that's going around the world, I totally understand that because it's hard to film safely with that thing spreading around, and they film around Maya's real life mom, and of course the parents who play them are older and can't risk them getting it, and then of course they film around like real teenage middle school like people, so you really don't want them catching it and stuff. So I totally understand why they ended it. However, I did read an article that's a little bit more confusing. See, they said they always intended this show to be 3 seasons, a 3 chapter show. And before what happened, it was always intended for part A and part B to be separate. Part B, in their minds, was supposed to be season 3 with those 8 episodes. However, for some reason, Hulu decided to make it part of season 2. So they said that's why that's why 2B feels so different from like 2A and stuff, which it really does. like when you watch this 2B, it really does feel a bit different. That's why a lot of the things kind of didn't mesh well with me, and to the point of kind of like disappointed with how it ended and stuff. I'm just like all the stuff that they were building up to, it kind of just got like pushed aside and you really didn't see it. I'm not sure when 2B was actually filmed, but like there are less scenes in high school, I mean middle school. There's only like two scenes in middle school and with the middle school kids, and then the rest are just like adults and the adult high school dudes and stuff. And so like it's a bit disconjointing, especially the end. Like a lot of stuff just didn't happen the way I wanted them to. I thought Gabe was gonna like, come out and be all like, I like dudes and stuff like that, and that's why I can't be with you, Maya. None of that happened. In fact, Gabe only shows up like in the last episode. Um, like the whole like Maya and Anna, I thought for sure those two was gonna like hook up at some point because in the first two seasons, even in this 2B, they still act like they want each other, but nothing ever happens. They never kiss, they never touch each other like that, like nothing ever happened. So it was kind of like a huge tease between those two. And so I don't know how the LGBT community is going to feel about that because clearly they like each other, but nothing came of that and stuff. And so that was very disappointing because you just wanted those two like to fall in love with each other, and sadly they didn't. you know. Um, and it was also interesting that the mom got her own very own episode story arc where she was in it for the whole time. So basically, this is what happens in 2B. After Gabe breaks up with Maya, like Anna's dad, Curtis, he takes them on a road trip down to Florida. He just wants to get away and just get away from his wife and stuff. Her parents are still going through divorce, and her parents are still both neglectful to her. And so they go down to Florida. Now, this came out in September. No, this came out in August of 2001, and it was a cartoon special. And I was just like, why is it a cartoon? Like, maybe because of the you know what? Like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But it was a weird, hilarious the cartoon thing where they walk around and they're like exploring Florida, and then like they meet one of those cartoonist dudes who does the caricature things, and he makes them look butt ugly in the picture, so they assume that's what they look like. So then their face morphs into what he drew. Oh God, it was so disturbing. That whole episode watching them look that way. Oh God, it was disturbing. Then they meet two guys, and like I'm not sure. I don't think they kissed. Cause Maya still has not been kissed yet by a dude, and so like the dudes kind of like blow them off a little bit, but then they get back together and they hang out and they pretend like, oh, just call me. But the girls end up throwing their numbers away and thinking it was like the best time ever. So then we get back into December, which has now been a full year, and in about like 3 months since like the show was put on hiatus and stuff. So I knew something was up. So it pretty much piggybacks off of like, what happened in the last season or whatever you want to call it. Anna and Maya broke up with their boyfriends, but then Anna ends up dating this new guy and stuff. And so this is a dude who's played by an adult. He's in high school. He's kind of like a dopey stoner dude, and then he hooks Maya up with his best friend, who's a bigger stoner dude. It's determined that Maya has ADHD, and she has to wear these orange glasses, with these glasses with orange lenses, because she has something else. And so it's a funny, hilarious scene with that, especially when she takes like her ADHD medicine, her Ritalin, and she zones completely out. That was so hilarious and stuff. And so Maya's boyfriend, is only with her to like get drugs from her because she gives him her ADHD medicine. The whole ADHD thing and the whole glasses thing, after that one episode, you never see her wear the glasses again. So that storyline got dropped. Then the whole ADHD thing, um, that never gets brought up again. Only the time it gets brought up is when he wants her pills, and that's only in 2 episodes. And so, like, Let's see what else. Oh, then with Maya, her cousin comes to visit from like Japan, and everybody loves her because she's full Japanese, and people on there pay attention to Maya being Japanese, and all the little kids at school are like wanting to like play with her cousin like she's a pet and everything, which pisses off Maya. And so Maya was in the bathroom completely butt naked, like double clicking her mouth, and her cousin walks in on her, and she's all like, "Shut that door!" and everything. And so then Maya decides she's gonna get rid of her cousin, like she wants her to go home, and tries to find a way to send her back home. And then she gets mad when her cousin's sleeping. She's about to hit her because of what she saw, but then she decides not to. And then her cousin confesses to her that, like, I'm tired of all your friends at school treating me like I'm a pet, and I want to go home, all this other stuff. So Maya got her wish after all. Then, so, like, that's pretty much with, like, Maya in terms of this season. There's something else that happens, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So Maya's mom gets her own episode. Now her family shows up in this. Now Maya's dad actually shows up a lot more in the second part of the 2B. Now this is the only episode that does not have Anna in it, and so Maya's mom is just like going to the store, and she parks in a handicap spot, and this woman's all like, "You can't park there." So then her mom pretends to be handicapped with a limp walking in the store, and throughout the whole episode she keeps walking with that limp so nobody will like suspect anything in case they noticed her from the store. And there she meets, you will never guess it, Soshi's dad, the dude who lives in Japan. Soshi has never met his dad has no idea he has a son. Maya's mom left Japan and divorced him, and came to America, and that's eventually when she met like Maya's like dad, who's like white. And so like they talk and they bond, and you get the impression she's gonna cheat on her husband, because she fixes her makeup and everything, and she takes off her glasses and she spends the whole day with him, and it's very romantic. And then like they get to the point where it's raining and they have some drinks and he's drunk. He's like, "Meet me in my hotel room," and everything. He wants her back. But then he sees the picture of Soshi and is all like, "Who is his father?" And she tells him and everything. Throughout the whole episode, he never asked to meet Soshi. And she never tells him, "Hey, do you want to meet him?" So that's kind of weird. Anyway, they go to the hotel room and you think she's going to cheat, but she doesn't. And so like he bought a picture. He said it's gonna remind me of you like forever and ever and stuff like that whenever I look at it. So she takes the picture and gives it to Soshi, and she doesn't even tell him that, "Hey, I met your father," and everything. And it was kind of weird. Like you assume that she would like do that and stuff. And then she tells Maya this like story of when she came to America and how things were and stuff like that. It's different from people who come from another country and stuff. Now, Anna's parents are still going through a divorce. Her dad is still grumpy and mean. Her mom is still neglectful. Her grandma comes to visit. Her grandma is rude, mean, very old, and um, she's upset. Come out like, "I just wanted to get my hair done, and you was taking too long getting back from school and all this other stuff." And she's really rude and really old, like one of those types. So the girls decide to be nice to her. Anna does her hair and Maya does her fingernails and everything. And then her mom is supposed to be there and have movie night. They went to Blockbuster, got a movie, but the mom is nowhere to be found. The mom is off being neglectful like always. The next day, the grandma dies. And when the girls are at the funeral, the mom is all upset. However, the girls are in the like aisle snickering and laughing about something. And so it's kind of like, dude, your grandma just died and y'all are just like laughing and snickering. The two girls end up being a little bit more rude in this part of the season. And so like there's this like walk for cancer episode, and so like the girls are being just like rude and talking over people while they're trying to like share the feelings and all this other stuff, and they start walking for cancer. They meet these two boys who, one of the boys wants like a kiss for his friend. The friend has cancer. The girls don't believe him and question him because it's kind of like he could have been lying, but then he shows his what his hair looks like underneath with his cap, and they're like, "Oh, you do have it." So they kiss him on the cheek and everything. This pisses off the dude's sisters, all like, why didn't you believe my brother got cancer and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And so, like, it's a very awkward moment, especially because the two girls got like boyfriends at this time. And then when they doing the visual lighting and everybody's holding hands and praying, it's like, you see the people crying, talking about like folks who have cancer and have lost. And it's a very sentimental like episode. Now, during the episode, Maya's boyfriend has not talked to her in over a week. He's been like avoiding her and stuff. And when he picks up the phone, he'll hang up. So Maya knows something's up. Now, when it comes to Anna's boyfriend, all they ever say to each other is that I love you, I love you. But all they do is make out. So you know what he's only there for. So then in one episode, this woman who's a scammer is all like, Anna, you would be a great model and everything. And the mom says no. This pisses her off. So she decides she's going to run away from home. Maya gets upset at her mom for some reason because her mom bought like Sochi a cell phone and not her. So they both run away. And Maya's all like, I'll be your new mother and everything. So they take Daddy with them. Daddy is the hamster. And so they go to the modeling agency to catch the bus, and when they're there, yeah, it's a huge scam. They want like thousands of dollars from Anna, and when they're taking pictures of her, Maya feels like worried, so she goes in there, and Anna has her shirt off and is just in her bra and pants. And she's like, okay, we gotta go now, now, now. And so Anna's all like, did I do something wrong? I felt like I did something wrong. It felt weird, but I did it. He asked me, do you like wearing bikinis? And I'm like, yeah. So he's all like, well, just take off your shirt and your bra will be your bikini. And so it's one of those type of scams. It gets to the point where they have to catch the bus back home, but they're scared all the strangers walking the streets. So they call their boyfriends and they go over. Now, of course, the boy, Anna and her boyfriend just make out all the time. He gets a little handsy. She really doesn't like that. And all he wants to do is make out. Maya, on the other hand, still has not been kissed. And she decides she's gonna give her a BJ. And it's a very awkward, nasty scene. And after doing that, she's all like, I think I want to do it again, but I don't. It was kind of gross, but I don't know. And like, I want to go home. So both girls, they call Sochi to pick them up. Sochi does not have a car. He comes in on a bike, and in his hands a skateboard. He tells them, you two take the bike, and he'll take the skateboard, and he don't even want to know what happens. And so you just see them like riding off at night. Now, sadly, Daddy, before the boyfriends picked them up, they was at this one lady's house, and a golden retriever was out. Like an idiot, Anna puts the hamster gerbil thing on top of the dog's head. When it falls off, the dog eats the hamster. It's a hilarious, gross scene. It's disturbing, but hilarious at the same time. But then he coughs him out, and the thing's still alive, only for him to chew him up again. Now Daddy's dead. Oh my god! Like, they showed it. It's disturbing but hilarious at the same time. So when they ran away from home, they was gone for at least a day. When they get back home, none of their parents seem to have cared, and it's just like, dude, like, what's going on? Like, Maya's parents didn't believe him, and Anna's parents, the mom, just didn't care, and they assumed they was at the other person's house spending the night. And so then it ends with Maya being pissed at her boyfriend. And so Sam has now finally showed back up, and he's all like, want to egg the dude's house and everything. And Gabe is there, and all the boys, their friends decide to help, right? So Anna's all like, hey, I don't like your friend because he hurt my, because this is what happened. I forgot to mention. Maya's boyfriend calls up on the phone. He's all like, turn on the radio, any song. She's like, okay, a song is playing. He's like, whenever you hear this song, just think of me breaking up with you, because that's what I'm doing. And it's like the most oh my god moment ever. So that's why they egg his house. And so Anna tells like her boyfriend, hey, we're finna egg your friend's house, come on. And he's all like, no, I'm not gonna do that to my best friend. And she's all like, like, your friend is rude and you put up with all that, so you must be rude to and all this stuff. So they break up. And so then they egg the dude's house. And when they run away, the most interesting thing happens. Sochi and Anna, they run away and hide behind the bushes or a house, and Anna now starts to have feelings for Sochi. She hears the music and everything. Maya and Sam, they now are rekindling whatever flirtation they had that completely got dropped in this 2B. And then they kiss at the end. And then Anna and Maya just like, they're at home and they're watching old movies of when they was younger and looking at the picture album and talking about how great they are as friends, but what if it doesn't last forever? And they just happy they have each other and it ends just like that. So it ended in a way towards the end that was nice, but not in a way you think. Like you think they would have fallen for each other, but didn't. And then the whole Sam and Maya thing just got completely dropped, and it was just kind of like I don't know. It just didn't feel like a satisfying ending. So I don't know when this would finish. They said it was before, like what happened. So who knows? You know what I'm saying? And so it just didn't feel like a satisfying like ending, especially all that stuff that was constantly being built up between like all the characters and stuff. But all in all, it was still hilarious and funny. You should still check it out. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.